Pretty baby, pretty baby.
Happy Monday. Hopefully you can hear me. There's a few cars driving by, but I just wanted to say the week has arrived. My old manager, Matt, is officially finishing up this week. And I just wanted to take this week to document the last week that we'll have Matt in the office. He's definitely a slightly different personality to the rest of us. He's more introverted and he's very introspective and quite logical in his thinking. So yeah, like I said, I just want to take the week to reflect on everything I've learned from him and everything we're losing with him finishing up. So far today, we've had a few jokes around him, being a free man and a kept man next week. And our CEO has given him a call today to thank him for his service, which I get that it's the right thing to do, but it's a bit hypocritical when he's the one who signed off on the structural change that led to him losing his job. So just a bit of a recap. I'm still sick too, by the way. We had a bit of a structural change and mine and Matt's jobs, in theory, were moving to the head office in another state, and neither one of us wanted to follow our roles down there. I fortunately was able to get a role rejigged up here for me, but Matt wasn't, and so he will be redundant as of the end of the week. So this week, the highlights of the week include obviously a farewell lunch for him and a gift. I've got to get that tomorrow, and a board meeting tomorrow.
Afraid won't let you fall, girl.
Happy Wednesday. I didn't chat to you yesterday. So basically yesterday was a bit of an unusual day for me. I was in the office on a Tuesday, which is why I'm home on Wednesday. I attended my first board meeting as part of my new role. I'm not the company secretary. My new boss, he is technically the company secretary, but I will be the person who does the minutes for the meeting. And the reason for that is that in addition to being the company secretary, he's also the state manager. So the board often ask him questions and he has to present agenda items on behalf of the team here in Queensland. So it's too hard for him to do that and take minutes. Because discussions going on and sometimes he has to filter and guide it or cut it off if it's going off point. But it was a really interesting experience. The big thing I took from it was that I think as a staff up here in Queensland, because we've lost so many staff, we did sort of feel like the board was just letting things play out, but actually sitting in on the meeting, I could see that they're very aware of what's happening and they are really keeping a close eye on it. They're not exactly happy with everything that's happened, but they sort of can see the efficiencies that might come out of it. Sorry, I'm still sick. So I had a bit of a late night. I didn't get home until after 7, which is unusual for me on a Tuesday, so that's why I'm here. It was very interesting sitting in on the meeting as Matt was finishing up, because they all, think and regard him, really well. And he's finishing up, and there was, obviously, as you can imagine, there was a fair bit of talk about the changes and the contribution he has made in his 20 years with the organisation. It was a bit sad. Tomorrow we have the farewell lunch for Matt, and the reason why we're having it on the Thursday and not his final day on Friday is because there's a pupil free day, and a bunch of the staff have the day off to look after their kids. So today I did have to go out and get the last of Matt's gift. So the tradition is usually get a bottle of alcohol, whatever your preference is, and a gift card. And the gift card value is determined by the number of years of service. So Matt's is quite high. So I actually had to get it over 2 gift cards because they didn't want to sell me one total one. That's okay. We have a card circulating around. We have one that head office have put their farewells in, and then there's one from the team here in Queensland. I purposely kept them separate. I feel like we in Queensland had a lot more to write, and we work with Matt and see him most days. So I feel like ours is going to mean a little bit more, and I didn't want to sort of populate it with the, general farewells. But the other thing we got Matt was, because he didn't want alcohol, he specifically said to me, actually, I don't want alcohol. So what I did was, he's got a sweet tooth, so I just got this jar and I just filled it with all the lollies he likes. Well, they're all chocolates and lollies that he really likes. I'd like to put a big bow on top of it, but I couldn't find one I liked. So tomorrow when I go to get the post, I'll have a little look in the newsagent and see if there's one there, but if not, that's all right. And we also got him a voucher for an overnight stay at one of the really nice hotels down the Gold Coast for him and his wife. So I think that's, hopefully that's, it's not a new job, but hopefully it's something to remember us by.
Don't be afraid, won't let you fall, girl.
But happy Thursday. So today we had our farewell lunch for Matt. It was really lovely. Everyone in the office showed up, which is unusual for us at the moment. We do have quite a spread out and transient workforce. We just have people coming and going through the office all day, but we all made an effort to come in to say farewell to Matt, and it was really lovely. If you live in Brisbane, or you've ever been to Brisbane, or you know anything about Brisbane, we went to the Breakfast Creek Hotel, and the reason why I chose that was because Matt loves a really good steak, and they're known for very good steak, and they're near our office. There are probably arguably better steakhouses in Brisbane, but this one was near to the office and it could accommodate such a large party, so it just was the perfect venue. We got Matt a wonderful gift. He seemed to really like it. It was just really lovely. We had an all staff meeting today, and then we sat around after that for about half an hour and just sort of talked about, the changes that were upcoming. Everyone had a memory of how Matt had positively impacted not only their working life, but the sport we work in as a whole. And it was just, a really wonderful way to sort of end the day, I guess. So what's left now is tomorrow is his official final day. So I thought today would be very sad, and for me it was a little depressing, but I think tomorrow is actually going to be the bigger day, because it'll be the actual last day I spend sitting next to him in the office and, speaking with him. The good news is he did say he's been on a few interviews and there seems to be a lot of jobs he's interested in, so I'm sure that he will find a job before long, and that's sort of really pleasing to hear. Like, he won't be worse off because of, the decision the organisation's made. Good morning. Happy Friday. I've just popped into a meeting room because there's just all mess behind my desk and I don't want to show you that. So it is now Friday. It's officially Matt's last day. it's a bit sad. I sort of woke up this morning and I woke up super early this morning and I was just laying in bed thinking about like when I started here and, you know, how helpful he was and like how our relationship has grown and changed, and just like how he's always been a very good manager. He's the sort of manager who has always given you sort of enough rope that you're free to, you know, explore and, you know, like do things and try things your way. But he just asks that you sort of, you know, tug on the rope and let him know when you need a bit of help. That was a horrible euphemism. He's just been a really good manager. And I was just thinking like how when I first started, I used to double and triple check everything with him because I didn't want to muck anything up, because, you know, what we do, if we do it wrong, it negatively impacts the whole office, the whole company really. And so I used to be, you know, really nervous about like making one wrong move. And obviously I've made wrong moves over the years, but you know, and we've learned from them. But yeah, I was just sort of thinking how he's just, just been always such a solid rock. And, you know, like Luke, my new manager, he's going to be a great manager, and I'm keen to start working with one of the other teams a little bit. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, it's just going to be very sad. I will be completely honest, with our senior accountant also resigning, and she'll be finishing up in the middle of the month. We now have a very inexperienced finance team with Matt finishing up, and that makes me really quite nervous. Yeah, I mean, Matt sort of said yesterday when we were talking that, you know, he feels like the company is finally getting closer to where it needs to be, and that's a good thing for all the employees. And we had an all-staff meeting yesterday, and they were talking about, you know, like performance planning and like career progression planning for staff. And that, for me, that's exciting because I'd like to explore that. Like I've said many times before, I don't know what I want to do with my career. And hopefully, you know, doing some training or trying new things will sort of help guide me, and then I'll figure out what I want to do. But yeah, just overall having such an inexperienced finance team, it's not that they're inexperienced full stop, it's just that they're inexperienced in this company. I don't think it's the wisest decision, but I guess we'll see over the coming months whether or not these new staff can really pick up, you know, their game and, you know, really, you know, keep all the balls in the air, or you know, they drop them, I guess.